All right, welcome back for another episode. In today's episode, we're going to talk about a few ways to make yourself more attractive. It's really important to present ourselves in a certain way because people do judge whether or not you think they should. It really is important, and they do. So, the first thing you can do, especially as a man, that is very important, is make a decent living, have a decent income. If you're if you're an 18-year-old guy, nobody's really expecting you to have much income, but they're going to expect you to be able to make a good income in the future. Especially if you plan on having kids and a wife and a family and a house and all that stuff. It makes sense. I mean, why would any woman want to be with a guy that doesn't have any income, right? I mean, she's going to need his help when she's pregnant. She's going to need help when she's at home raising that kid. It's biology, That's how we've been trained. That's how we've been programmed and wired to provide for women. And that's what women are programmed to look for, okay? Second thing on the list is get a decent haircut. There's so many people out there on the street that just look terrible. I mean, they don't have a good haircut at all. Anybody can get a good haircut. What does it cost? $20? Just spend a little time on yourself. There's a lot of people who look like they just literally threw off the sheets and got up and started walking on the street with their greasy hair, and it's all hanging over on one side and it's all messed up. I mean, put yourself together. Get yourself a nice good, clean haircut. Next one on the list is have decent social skills. I cannot believe how many people I deal with on a daily basis that don't have decent manners and aren't even nice and don't even try to be nice, or they don't even know how to be nice. I mean, hold the door open for somebody every once in a while. Say hello. Smile every once in a while. Say please. Thank you. If you're having a conversation, ask someone questions. Don't be selfish and expect them to ask you all the questions. Joke around a little bit. These are signals of your self-esteem, and it shows that you have good manners, and it goes a really long way. And everybody likes somebody with high self-esteem, right? We all like courageous people. Nobody likes somebody who's really timid or weak or fearful or angry. So if you can get your social skills under control, that will go a long way. And the only way to get better at that is really to practice. Start working on it with people in every conversation that you have. That could mean like asking somebody out. For example, it's hard to ask people out because a lot of people are afraid of rejection. But the more you do it, the more you get used to it, and that's sort of a factor that you can use in a lot of different areas of your life when it comes to social interaction. Okay. Next one on the list is your living situation. You're going to want to have a decent living situation. Okay, so if you're going back to the young guy example or young gal, if you're 18 years old and you're living in a house with 3, 4, 5 other people, that's sort of acceptable. Nobody's expecting you to have done very much at that point. You're only a young person. You don't have many skills yet. You probably don't have a very good job. But the sooner you can get your own place, the better. That might be an apartment, might even be a house. Especially if you're 30 or 40 years old. If you don't have like a really good living situation, it's really not going to look very well upon you. If you're 30 years old and you still got roommates, hey, I've done it myself. I know other people that still do it. That's fine, and if that's what you want to do, that's fine. But remember, if you bring a date home, they're going to see that, and it says a lot about you and what your standards are and what you're able to provide and how comfortable you are and how comfortable they might be being in your presence in your home. The next one on the list is drive a decent car. This is only one I figured out recently, and it makes sense. I mean, everybody is attracted to really beautiful cars on the street and everything, but until last year, I drove a 25-year-old car because I didn't give a damn, right? But other people do give a damn. For me, all I cared about was that it ran nice, and then it got me from point A to point B. But, when you're going to start picking up dates, it really matters. I'm not saying you have to go out there and get a Lamborghini or some Ferrari or BMW or Volvo or something like that. But you want to have something that's at least, middle of the road, I would say. I went out and got a car for $3,200 a couple months ago. Very nice 2004 model. No rust. Runs great. Looks clean. Leather seats. Doesn't really take very much in today's day and age to have a decent car, okay? If you pull up on a date to pick someone up and you've got this thing that's all rusty and the muffler's all loud and the thing barely even runs, then, you might still be able to go out on that date, but good luck. Okay. The next one on the list is have a decent wardrobe. You know, how, like I said earlier, how you present yourself is really important. And your clothes say a lot about you. Now, clothes are another thing that can be expensive, or they may not be. You don't have to go to, Louis Vuitton and get all this fancy stuff. That's too much. That's an excess, if you ask me. Okay, I'm saying in the middle of the road. I mean, you can get a lot of great clothes at Kohl's, Sears. Heck, I know one guy that goes to the Salvation Army or other thrift stores, and he gets really great clothing. I mean, this guy looks like an upper class, grade A, top 1% upper echelon businessman. He gets his suits and ties and everything from the Goodwill, Salvation Army. So if you keep an eye out, you can get some really great stuff, especially if you go shopping in thrift stores in suburban areas or other wealthy communities where people are throwing away or getting rid of, donating nicer clothes. Get clothes that fit too. I mean, you got all these people that are wearing clothes that are too tight or too small. Just get proper, decent looking clothes. Nothing too extreme or anything like that. Get a nice shirt, a nice collared shirt, nice pants, decent pair of shoes. It might cost you a couple $100 to upgrade your wardrobe, but that couple $100 could go a long way in the future in terms of social cost and benefit. Not only that, you'll feel great about yourself, right? When we look good, you go out there and you feel good, that adds to your confidence right there. The other great thing about that is you can upgrade your wardrobe just about instantly, okay? Which is different from the next point. Getting emotionally fit. Being emotionally fit is a very key thing. If you've got some really weird quirks, or you've got anger issues, or you just don't know how to manage yourself, or whatever, that's a real sign that maybe you have some serious mental health problems or something like that. If you've got any inclination that you've got some mental health problems, or people have hinted at you that you need some help, maybe it'd be a good idea to read some books, learn about yourself, or maybe even see a therapist. Back to wardrobe, buying wardrobe you can do in a day, but working on your mental health can take some time and maybe even some money, if you're going to see a therapist and stuff. But that's another key one there. The last one I'm going to get to is get physically fit. This one is another one that doesn't happen overnight, but if you don't take care of yourself and you look really out of shape, people can say, and they can see, yeah, that guy really definitely doesn't take care of himself. And people are interested in friends and partners that they can benefit from in some way, right? We all benefit something from our friends and our family somehow, right? So they say, let's say you're going to take a girl out, or you're interested in a girl, or perhaps marrying somebody someday, or finding a partner at least. They're going to look at you and say, wait a second, you're really out of shape, and if you can't even take care of yourself, how are you going to take care of me if we're together? Or how are we going to take care of family and kids if we make that happen? Am I going to be the one taking care of you when you're sick all the time? Am I going to be the one stuck with all the health bills and all that stuff? So getting physically fit is probably the biggest one. It makes us the most physically attractive. It has the most to do with us being physically attractive. It has the most weight. It is the most important. So that one takes time. If you're interested in learning any more about healthy eating or getting healthy, I highly recommend a book by Dr. Doug Lisle called The Pleasure Trap. Once again, that's The Pleasure Trap by Dr. Doug Lisle. Very good. Talks about why we, what men and women are looking for, and what makes us interested in what we do. Why we acquire certain habits, good or bad. In many cases, bad habits, and how do we avoid continuing to perpetuate those bad habits. All right, guys. Well, that's all I got for you today. I hope that helps a lot. Please like and subscribe if this was helpful to you. Share it. And feel free to leave comments below. Thank you very much for stopping by, and have a great day.